he's at centre back, when he's at centre back for Liverpool. Hey, oh, centre back, when he's at centre back, when he's at centre back. What a belter of a tune that is. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Natural Red YouTube channel. What a mad few days it's been for footy in general, really. A nightmare of a couple of days. But we've come out of the other side with a relief, with something to be holding on. Yes, football wins again. Football fans win. We can be this powerful if we want to be. But what's next? What's after this? It's been it's just a mad 3 days, and it quickly just collapsed. Rest in peace Super League in 2 days, 2021 to 2021, 18th of April to 21st of April, whatever it's been. It's mad. And then the owners, what's next? The Glazers, they're under pressure. Kroenke's under pressure. He's always under the pressure, to be fair. Woodward's gone. The Glazers, he might be out. They might sell him, but same with John Henry. I mean, Abramovich, Sheikh Mansour, Dinakali, but pressure's on FSG for Liverpool, Fenway Sports Group, John W. Henry. What's next for FSG? Tell you what, they've been... So let's look at them at their tenure as Liverpool owners. So they came in, they bought Liverpool for what? £250 million? Liverpool were in debts. Ix and Gillette, the worst owners in history. Almost put Liverpool in administration. They come in, they saved us. They got rid of the debts. They built a couple of stands at Anfield, new ones that is. They made mistakes. They corrected those mistakes. It's been an up and down journey, but largely, when you talked about FSG from a Liverpool fan, when you said, you know what, they can be better, but in terms of comparing them to other owners in the league, you're like, they're not bad. They're not bad. You know, they've done some bad mistakes. They wanted to change the Liverbird. They wanted to change the stadium of Liverpool Football Club so to not play at Anfield anymore. The £77 ticket prices, the furloughing of staff during the pandemic, and this is the big one, the Super League, being one of those founding clubs, or being one of those owners who leading the charge for it. As I say, they've made some mistakes, and they've been at Liverpool 10 years now, 9 years, but a decade at the club. And most of the time they've made a mistake, they've corrected it, and John Henry comes out on the Liverpool. He just comes out with a video statement. The statement that Liverpool put out a couple nights ago, 3 lines, 47 words. I felt embarrassed. I felt like, you pathetic. You put more effort. Like the Super League was 48 hours, and you sent out a statement to say not even to say sorry, just to say you discontinue with it in 47 words. Arsenal. Now you could look at it both ways. You could say, okay, that's more genuine because they actually don't really care. Or Arsenal's one, it looked like a very, very structured statement. It was about 10 paragraphs, for example, saying why they wanted to join, saying sorry to the fans, saying sorry to everyone else, the benefits of it was, and just laid it out why they tried to go into it, and it makes sense. Now you could say that was ingenuine and that only words, but it means a lot. When Liverpool statement came out with stake, they mentioned, well, they didn't even think they mentioned funds, did they? They said relevant stakeholders that discontinued. It didn't feel like a human said it. It felt like a businessman who lives in Melbourne, or for example in London. You know that bullshit words say, oh, would you like to receive the essay? I'd like to discontinue. Like, really, shut up, just say it in English. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It didn't sound like a emotional human being. It sounded like a fucking robot. And then John Henry comes out and says the apology for about, 2 minutes was it? 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And look, if he spoke in the right tone, he spoke the right words, and he said everything correctly. He said sorry. He said what else? Like, he said that he didn't mention or anything. I'm not even saying this properly, but he did the right thing and sort of okay, the head of the Liverpool Football Club, the owner, right? It wasn't a statement. It was a statement, but video format, and there was a article on it on the Liverpool Football Club website. And thinking, right, it's good that you put out. He's the only owner who's done that, I think. So it's good on his behalf. But you can you could look at it either way. Is it genuine? We don't know. Is it ingenuine? We actually don't know. The words he said, good. The emotional side of things, good. But the trust is not going to be there anymore. That's my issue. It'll be hard with the 50+1 rule coming in, because I think we're just too, like, the Premier League's just too up their asses, and with the Tory government in England, I don't think they're going to give up businesses to, like, for example, in England, they've got, Sainsbury's. They're not going to have owners, staff members owning half the company. It's not going to be like that. Maybe they could do something where in England they could have every Premier League club needs to have two members on the board. One or two members on the board, always not making a last decision, but putting their say in it. Just something there. It probably won't be 50+1 rule that like they have in Bundesliga. It would be nice, but it's not likely, is it? It's not. It's idealistic, and it'll be amazing. It'll be a win for football again. And maybe it can, but reality is most likely a member, a supporters group member, a leader, for example, will be on the board members, making those relevant decision making that impacts the club, so we say. So hopefully that. But next for FSG, the trust is never going to be there. And what they've always corrected the mistakes. They've made too many mistakes though. That's the issue. Like, come on, lads. You've owned Liverpool Football Club. You should know that history in terms of how we treat our fans, history in terms of how we treat the community, history in terms of how we conduct ourselves, history in terms of how we, of how we portray ourselves, whatever. Shankly always mentions socialism, working together, working hard, being together, unity. 10 years for FSG, they're still making mistakes. This is the biggest mistake. I personally, I don't want to paint myself in a corner and say FSG in or for FSG. I don't like to do that. I just like to support the players. But I won't trust them 100%. If they make a good decision, I'll praise them. If they make a bad decision like this, I will fucking rinse them. Right? I like to say I want to have a mature look into it. So that it is. So it's gonna be hard, but if we do have a board, a member in the board who helps FSG. See, Tony Barrett. See, FSG. They've done quite a lot of things. Quite a bit. But let's talk about like the people when they employ Jurgen Klopp. They employed one of the best football man on the planet, or one of them. They employed Tony Barrett to be sort of that middle ground. Michael Edwards, they stick with him because they listened to what Jurgen wanted. They got most of the players Jurgen wanted. And they're running a self-sustaining model that is, in the last 5 years, that model of making profit. See, they were making profit in terms of spending, but the selling of players. I know that's more Michael Edwards' corner, but they kept on making profit on, but they were buying players, but they were still making profit, self-sustaining. They were not getting into debt. They did not take any risks. So if we can get like a member on the board, like I said, and just help, well, not help FSG, but remind them, hey, no. Just a little reminder in the ear. Yep. And Henry, we got, yep. Billy Hogan. Billy Hogan's another one. We can't forget about him. Someone like a Peter Moore. Peter Moore, I think he maybe left because maybe he heard about this. We don't know. Because he left, last year, didn't he? So maybe he heard about this and wanted to leave, but then again, his contract was up. But someone like that, just fucking reminding FSG. Because they're not going to go away. They're Henry said their job isn't done, and which billionaire is gonna have interest in the club and able to pay 3 billion to buy the club? It's highly unlikely, isn't it? It's highly unlikely. But then again, we never know. A billionaire that can pay 3 billion to buy the club off FSG and have more interest to the community and club, like the fans, it's really unlikely. So that's my view on it. Hopefully the war, as I say, the battle is won. The war isn't over. You've got to keep going. Put pressure on FSG. Put pressure. I want to still support them because I hate going against anything about Liverpool Football Club. But they've got to do better. They've got to do better. And FSG, if they keep this up, because I hate putting myself in the corners like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, or I'm this, I'm this, and this. But I'm still going to support them. They've done lots of good, but they've done lots of crap. They need to build on this, and they need to get my trust back. And that's basically what it is. So yeah, if you haven't already, like the video. Thank you so much for the support. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, follow social media platforms, and on Twitch. And I'll see you guys later.